6 decades ago, civil rights leaders here in Selma, Alabama, staged a march for voting rights. They were met at the Edmund Pettus Bridge by police on horseback, wielding clubs, attack dogs, and tear gas.
Here come this man on this horse. He was riding that horse and he had that whip. He was beating as he was going.
What became known as Bloody Sunday shocked the nation and helped spur Congress to enact the Voting Rights Act in 1965.
This is me, Betty.
Among those who marched across the bridge in 1965 was Betty Strong Boynton, who still keeps photographs from the movement. A recent Supreme Court ruling gutted key provisions of the Voting Rights Act, and Republican lawmakers in Alabama plan to redraw the state's congressional districts, eliminating one of 2 seats in Congress held by black politicians from the state. Reuters visited Selma, the city most associated with the Voting Rights Act, and spoke to 3 veterans of the civil rights era who described feeling a deep sense of loss.
We should not have to fight for the right to vote. Only 61 years have passed, and we are right back where we started in 1965 if they get their way.
Barbara Barge is a tour guide and civil rights activist here in Selma. In the South, memories harken back to the U.S. Civil War, when newly freed and enfranchised black voters elected black representatives. But then came what's known as Reconstruction, when, across the South, states passed what became known as Jim Crow laws, legalizing segregation and suppressing black votes.
Prior to the passage of the Voting Rights Act, there was no democracy in America. Let's be clear about that.
Faya Rose Touré is a civil rights activist and lawyer. In her office in Selma, she listened to and sang along with old voting rights songs. She said she wasn't surprised by the ruling from what she described as a white supremacist court, and that she saw democracy in decline.
The Supreme Court, they're of the same mind. So they don't think that segregation is that bad. They don't think that dictatorships are that bad. The dam to this democracy has broken.
What do we do? Fight back. If you're ready to fight back, make some noise.
Boynton says this moment once again demands the kind of mass movement that won the day all those decades ago.
We don't have to get out there in the streets. We don't have to go from door to door. We don't have to, the churches, the minister, to open their doors up at these churches and go to having mass meetings.